And actually, real quick, I do just want to mention that
this fucking guy
that we are witnessing right now an act of high treason, folks. Mac has come back without the Senate's permission, and by the Senate, I mean Gonky.
Bitch, I ain't even done the intro.
Ask Gonky.
He didn't even ask Gonky, and I can't believe it. Also,
yeah, because Gonky's my hoe. I run that.
Hey, Mookie, could you go stand by the airlock just real quick? No reason.
Yeah.
I just want to
Y'all
take a
some
picture
hoes.
of you
yeah,
over
actually,
there.
Elijah, it was his trash day, and he forgot to take the trash out. So if you could stand by the airlock, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Please
I know
and
that's
thank
a lie because I know we make Yariel take out the trash. So next question.
Also, too,
Let me do the intro, all
isn't
right?
it ironic
Damn.
that we take the trash out of our dumpster?
Can I do the intro?
Yes, you can.
Yes, please.
All right.
All wings report in. HouseDog, standing by.
MotherGoose, standing by.
Lowtech Tuck standing by.
Lock S foils in attack position. Animal Squadron ready for battle.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Animal Squadron podcast. I am your host, the one, the only HouseDog. You thought I left, I'm back again. They left me on a planet apparently subjected to live alone by Gonky's orders, but I think it's a lie. We're on the Animal Squadron podcast. I don't know if I said that or not. We've been talking for hours. You just don't know it. We've been consuming beverages, or at least I have. Elijah's sober. He drinks water. Tuck drinks beer. But yeah, we're here for a good time. Again, welcome back to the Animal Squadron podcast. I am your host, HouseDog, and I know I said it, and I'll say it again because they tried to kick me off. And
Also,
with me,
too,
as always, shut your mouths. I lead this host.
This is Lowtech Tuck. Also, I just
Shut
wanna
your
let,
mouth.
I just want to let
Shut
everyone
your
know
mouth. You
that,
shut your dirty little mouth.
that the
You
artist,
shut it.
the
You shut
artist
it.
formerly known as HouseDog,
artist? Yeah,
is
shut your
committing
mouth.
an act of high treason against
Shut your mouth.
Supreme
Shut
Leader
your mouth.
Gonky's
You
orders
shut
by
it.
appearing on this
Shut
content.
it.
I'm
Shut
your
it.
resident water
Shut it.
drinker, MotherGoose.
Shut your mouth.
I
With
stay
me,
real
as
hydrated.
always,
I have to pee
my
so
best
much,
friend,
you guys.
my best friend, the one,
This is
the
so
only,
chaotic.
the hairiest host, the Chewy to my Han, everything I've ever said before on this podcast. He's my new favorite, the one, the only
Hi,
MotherGoose.
everybody. Don't worry, Tug. It'll swing back in your favor
And
at some
somehow
point.
still
Probably
sticking
by
to
the
the
end
side
of
of
the
our
episode.
dumpster. He won't leave. We brought him on and it was a mistake. He's still chewing on wires, eating things that we need. The one, the only, the Minoc himself, Lowtech Tuck.
What up, dog and dogettes? What's happening? Also, I do just want to share real quick that the reason I am here is because, unlike certain people, Supreme Leader Gonky really likes me and loves my frequent donations to his campaign. So,
All hail Senator Gunn.
all hail Supreme
That just means
Chancellor
you're giving
Gonky.
him oil baths in the back room and rubbing him down real good.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I love that little guy. He's awesome. Maybe if you
Hey,
if
if I
you
were-
paid more attention to him, you wouldn't get kicked out.
You know
That's all
what?
I'm
Pay
saying.
more attention to D's.
He's nuts. If I were to shave my body and no longer be the hairiest host, would you guys still love me?
I
No.
would. I would. Because
Thank
my
you.
love is without condition. And so is Supreme
Thank
Leader
you.
Gonky's. as
Oh,
well.
my love is purely conditional.
It's conditional on how hairy my chest is.
Once again,
Yeah.
a masterclass in why Matt got left behind last episode.
Listen here, sir. I am on vacation and I will abuse my rights.
Hey, we're talking about the Bad Batch today. Season 3, episode 15.
Today's
The
my
Cavalry has
favorite day
arrived.
because it's the last episode of Bad Batch.
We did it, you guys. Last
Oh,
episode.
yeah, and on to Acolyte. Yippee.
Hey, why are you setting your beer on fire?
No, I had a strand on my koozie, so I had to burn it.
Hello. Yeah, last episode, then like Tuck said, on to Acolyte, which is
Are
gonna
we on
be...
to Acolyte? I guess we have
After
to
this,
because
yes, we are.
Outlaws
Yeah.
doesn't
I
come
think-
out for another month, and we have to put out content. I'm a slave.
I think-
Please help me. Elijah keeps me in a basement and he makes me work.
Also, too, if Elijah keeps you in the basement of my basement, does that make me? Is that some sort of Inception thing? I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, it has
Who's
to
in
be.
your basement, Mac? Is it Tucker? We're just all in each other's
It's just
basements.
an endless loop of basementry.
Considering I don't have a basement, it has to be a subterranean basement of Tucker's. Yes.
Do you have like a doomsday bunker under my house?
I'll never tell you.
Is that where I've been living? Is life just a simulation?
It's where your mom's been living.
Hey, man, you better take that back.
Yeah, that's right. I'll slander.
Hey,
Redacted name
hey, dog. We're leaving mamas out of this. All right.
Redacted
Do
name
not
here.
dox Tucker's
Yeah,
mom.
no, you can step on me, big fella, but do not talk about my mama.
Joke's on you guys. I've been gone for a week and I'm back again. You can't leave me. I'll come back.
Well, hey, final episode. General thoughts. What did you guys think?
It was better than I thought. I don't know. Halfway through the episode, I was like, when is this going to end?
I thought it was a solid end, honestly. And I
do
really, especially to the way that it ended, I think retroactively makes you really appreciate the Bad Batch for what it is. And what I think it'll go down in history as just a solid animated Star Wars show.
Yeah.
And I think this was a good end to it. And I
don't know,
appreciate
man.
it.
I'm sad to see the Clone Wars go.
Yeah, I will say I've been seeing those TikToks too. I don't know if that's true. I'm sure the Clone Wars
Yeah.
and the Republic will be back just because of just the, adamant love from fans about it.
I think the Clone Wars has ended, man. I think it's like Obi-Wan said. And it's like all those edits, which those edits are heartbreaking, by the way.
Oh, I've seen them.
Of
Yeah,
the
I know what you're
Obi-Wan
talking about.
voiceover where he's
Yeah.
like, this is a message to all surviving Jedi.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The
But
Clone
also-
Wars has ended.
Also,
Oh,
to those,
man.
but also those are made up by people on TikTok who don't actually know anything. So
Most of the
Yeah.
ones that I see are like Star Wars pages, so...
Oh, yeah. Like edits that they've made.
yeah, but
yeah.
I, as far as don't know anything, that sounds harsh. I don't mean that those people are stupid. I just mean that like they don't
No, it's
actually.
okay, you hate 'em.
No, I'm just
You
saying
hate
they,
'em.
they don't
You
actually.
hate everybody
They
that
smell
isn't
it.
you. It's fine. It's fine. We get it. You hate everybody that isn't you.
Can
It's
we
okay.
Can we break out the actual adult debate techniques?
You can break out D's nuts.
But what I mean is like those people. Just to make it clear, those people that post those TikToks and various things don't necessarily actually work for Star Wars, and so I guess that's what I mean by they don't know anything.
What do you mean by those people?
I said what I said.
The people that make Star Wars edits, you know what he meant.
Yeah, and I appreciate your edits, but I'm just saying, like, is what you say fact, just like what we say is fact? Not necessarily.
Oh, what I say is fact, but it's fine.
I'm sure it is in your world, yeah.
I'm with Tucker. I think we're going to get another Clone Wars style, in terms of animation style, series that follows Echo, Emery, and Rex.
Oh.
I with the ending of this episode, I just feel like they're setting something up.
Yeah, and also I do think we will return to the Republic at some point. Now, my opinion, I think that they'll do what any good franchise does, and they'll probably wait a while.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm
But
kind of like
I think in
the
the
end
next
of the.
I think in the next decade we will probably return to the Republic again.
Nah, I'm like the end of the Lorax right now.
Well, yeah, you're sad. I get it.
No. Let it
Yeah.
die, let it die, let it shrivel up and die. I want the Clone Wars to be over because...
And that's fair.
And I'm not going to start the whole Disney debate and all of that, but like, let the Clone Wars in, man. Let it die. And, well, with one caveat. If our Lord and Savior produces another Clone Wars show, if Dave decides to do another Clone Wars, whatever it is, some more lost episodes or whatever, I will support it. But if it's anybody else, I will denounce it as false prophecy and burn it.
What if it's really good?
Then praise
What if
our
it's
Lord and
better
Savior
than the
Dave.
original?
Like, for
Praise
instance,
our Lord
what
and
if it's
Savior
not
Dave.
Dave?
for instance, what if like Katie Lucas gets to release the episodes that she directed?
The last ones?
Yeah, like for instance, Dark Disciple and all that stuff. Like, what if she gets to do
Oh,
that?
hell yeah.
And it's Katie
Oh.
Lucas instead of
Quick
Dave
side
Filoni.
note, on my journey back from Texas, I had to have another audiobook because I listened to all of our podcasts while I was gone and everything.
Yeah.
I listened to it wasn't Dark Disciple, it was something Rise of the Red Saber.
Oh yeah, I've
yeah.
been reading that for a little while. Yeah.
Good. And it also, you know, we talked about one of the times after I came back, we talked about how people are saying there's not enough women in Star Wars and everything. Dude, go read that book. If you're one of those people that think there's not enough women or strong female characters in Star Wars, go read that book. It's amazing. I mean, I listened to it on audio, but it was great and I really enjoyed it, and it's good because that character does not return.
Yeah. And actually, too, if I can just cut in real fast, one thing, like, the only complaints I have about that book, like, just spoiler alert, are really just purely aesthetic, I guess, to use that word. Like, I really like the characters, and I really like the story. There were just some parts of the writing that I found minorly annoying, was all.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
Yeah. But it was
Elijah,
good.
have
It was
you
very good.
Listened or read any of that?
No, but I actually picked it up. I think I'm reading or listening through Brandon Sanderson's novels, which he has like 20. And I'm like 5 or 6 in. And I think after I finish the current series I'm on, I'm going to take a quick break, listen to some Star Wars books. This one, and I think Dark Disciple as well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and they're both very good. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bad Batch?
Well, Bad Batch.
I took
a
notes.
lot happens. A lot, yeah.
So proud.
Very proud.
They're not much.
I didn't take notes. Tucker?
Actually, I'll just go ahead and just out myself now. I don't think I've ever taken notes for this podcast.
See, I know you don't usually, but I didn't know you never had.
I might have like once or twice, but that's it.
Elijah and I used to painstakingly, well, at least I did. I would have like a notebook, a physical notebook of handwritten stuff. I still have it somewhere. It's somewhere here in the office of like our original episodes. And it was no joke, like scene by scene, I had something.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would just blame my not taking notes on the fact that, and I think you guys know this about me, like, as far as the way that my life has gone, like, I have a good memory, and I use that, you know, just to my advantage as often as I possibly can.
Hell yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
I don't know. As long as I watch it right beforehand, I'm good. Other than that, if I watched it yesterday, goldfish, I have no idea. But today, I know.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
No, my first thing here is, and they've done it a couple times. They did it back in Clone Wars, and I think it was a good callback. The logo for Bad Batch was all matte black.
Oh, yeah.
It was all that matte black to match what they had done to their armor.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That was it.
Yeah. It was a good catch. I don't think I realized it, but rarely do I know it's like 20 seconds, but I always hit skip intro.
That's fair enough. Because, I mean,
I do too.
how many times have we
I do
seen the
too.
logo and just hear the
Right.
before the
No,
episode
I do
starts?
too. But I mean, this was the finale, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch it in its entirety.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Well, what do you got for us?
I mean, just the logo being matte black, and then The next thing I have is the kids making their plan or whatever. And it's whenever they're making their escape. I mean, some other things, not really anything happens before that. They're making their plan or whatever. And SP-39, the red one, I don't know her name. She has the doll that Omega made whenever she was first at Tantus in her waistband. Whenever they start making their escape.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And then I
actually,
wrote
go ahead. Sorry.
Stupid baby.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I wrote stupid baby.
Bear.
So,
Well, yeah, and actually the funny thing is I think this is what we've been talking about for like 3 episodes. This is the episode where Baron is a stupid baby man.
I thought he was a stupid baby from the beginning, but he just came on screen.
It's baby man.
He was just on screen, so I was like, there's that stupid baby.
Stupid little baby man.
Stupid baby. I also noted though that the red one had the doll with her. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, and also one thing that I think is, I mean, to call us back, one thing that I thought was kind of sweet is whenever Omega first gets there, she recognizes the doll and points it out, and that girl is actually kind of protective of it at first. And then Omega's like, actually, I really like it and stuff. And it was just like, you can tell that is that little girl's favorite toy in the world. And then also, too, it was not donated by choice, but somewhat donated by Omega.
Yeah.
Which I thought
that's
was
one
just
thing you
very
get to
sweet.
see. I think they did a good job of that in this episode, is you see Omega leaving her childhood behind and her becoming a leader.
Yeah. Which
with
is
her and these children.
Yeah, which is one reason, too, why I think that this was a great way to end Bad Batch, because the whole time we've been seeing Omega grow up, but this is when we actually get the fruits of it, of this, tree of her growing up, is in this episode whenever we realize that, not only has she been making progress, but she is a leader. It's done. It's finished. Yeah. She is a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. She has an amazing character arc, but between all 3 seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And also, I think she Ahsoka'd me a little bit, because really I hated Omega in the beginning, but
yeah,
I've grown to really feel a fondness about her. She's not my favorite character or anything, but I do like her, and also I'm kind of looking forward to if we ever get to see her again. I think that'd be very fun.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Do you have anything before we see Emery and Echo?
Just so you know, my next note is stupid sleepy baby. So go ahead.
Please tell me your entire note sheet is just stupid baby every time we see the baby.
No, that's the last time I note Byron. Byron, whatever his name is. Stupid sleepy baby.
What would you tell Joe Byron right now? Hey, baby, take me out to dinner.
I want to take you out for dinner.
We do have a scene with Hemlock and what's his face?
Rampart.
The stupid baby man. Rampart, yeah.
A very good scene.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't really have much to note about it, though. Tucker, did you have anything?
Oh, this is whenever he's like, you made a poor choice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, too, that it's... we'll get to this a little bit later, but I think that it's evident that not only were and are they peers, but they're also rivals.
Well, I mean, Star Wars
and I think
is
we
a
have to
great
think
thing.
about it that way.
Sorry, Star Wars is a great thing of showing that some people change and that some people don't.
People don't.
Some people are just who they are.
Yeah.
And that's who Rampart's character... Rampart was just who he was. And he never... Elijah, insert name here of the guy from Rebels.
Are you talking about the scientist?
ISB
No, the
agent.
ISB.
Oh, Callus.
Callus.
Yeah.
Callus and Rampart, they're kind of alike, but Rampart never changes who he is. And Callus, you can see that throughout the seasons of Callus changing into who he eventually becomes. But Rampart, and I really like that about Rampart, was that he never changed who he was.
Yeah. And actually, like, if I can jump off that a little bit, I really like, I like that you said that they are, as far as Hemlock and Rampart, they are actually kind of the same. Like, I think actually if you were to switch the characters and Hemlock was in this position, I really think he would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I think just both of them, one reason I said that they're peers is because I think that they really are pure equals. As far as, like, if you take out rank, but you just put that they're both higher ups in the Empire, and as far as, like, how their egos work, how their emotions work, how their actions work, I think they're overall kind of the same dude.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say about that is I think Rampart is way more selfish. I think Hemlock has a grand vision, and Rampart is so single-minded of himself.
Yeah, but also I think that that's what is interesting too, as far as them being rivals, is that there is a very, like, open competitiveness, that they will actively do things to hurt each other if it benefits them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we'll see this later. We'll talk about this again, but
Yeah. And then moving to Emery and Echo, I just have one note. I really like their conversation here where he says, well, why did you decide to help us? And she says, because I realized I was wrong about this place and I want to do the right thing. And I really like that line. It's very simple, but it really shows her character development.
Emery has a lot of good lines in this episode.
Yeah.
yeah. And actually, one thing I really love about Emery's character is, as far as, like, here on Earth, just being, like, you know, people living in society. There are a lot of intellectuals that are arrogant and have large egos and can't admit that they are wrong. And I really love that Emery's actually the antithesis to that. She is a intellectual that is also kind and loving and forgiving and is willing to make that change. I really thought that was pretty deep, and I really like it. Yeah.
Well, Emery sees the future that she never had.
Yeah, she definitely does. But that's what's really cool about her.
Boys, you guys probably... So I'm sorry, this whole conversation made me realize something really important about Emery that you guys probably have already seen, but the kids... She sees herself in these kids because she grew up as a lab rat too.
Dude.
Yeah.
How have I not?
That is a wrinkled brain thing to say. That was so big brain, dude. I love that. That was beautiful.
Okay, remind me at the end of the episode when they're back on Pabu, because there's an exact line that she says something that tells you that.
She probably does.
But I think that was just, I mean, I'm kind of taken aback because really I don't think I realized that either. And
I never... It's super obvious. I just never put two and two together.
Man. Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. I'm really like, I'm reeling. My head exploded. I mean, I'm just kind of like, whoa, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for once, I'm the one that's ahead of everyone.
Big brain Mookie.
I'm here for it. Yeah, directly after that is Stupid Sleepy Baby.
Stupid Sleepy Baby. So are you talking about when they're climbing through the vents?
Well, Omega releases the Zillow Beast.
Yeah. Which I think is a little later. Just real quick, does anyone have anything before we... Actually, no, you're right. That's literally right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Omega releases the Zillow Beast, which... Shout out to Zillow Beast for finally being freed.
Yeah, and actually, just real quick, I'm just going to just make this point now just because I thought it was really funny. But here in a couple minutes, one thing that I thought was very funny was the only thing that does make Baron sleep, though, is dying stormtroopers at the Zillow Beast.
Incredible chaos.
He's so real for that.
I love that little
He's
imp.
so real for that.
He's the
crazy,
only
man.
redeeming
He's
quality
crazy.
that he has.
Yep. Little guy is chaos. He's got that dog in him. I love it.
My note here was, oh no, the Zillo Beast got out. Who could have predicted that?
Only for the third time.
It's almost like this has happened before.
Well, I mean, it's and I was thinking about this the other day. I think I knew it at the time, but I didn't really think about it until later. The Zillo Beast episode in Clone Wars, whenever it was in Coruscant and it broke out, was an homage to King Kong.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I was always thinking Godzilla, but it does make sense with the King Kong connection.
Yeah, it was an homage to Kong. And the only reason why I made that connection was that I watched the new Kong and Godzilla movie, which was not worth my time.
Also, too, on a very intellectual note, me see big creature climb big building. Me think monkey.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Can we just talk
ahead.
about how bad of a day Hemlock is having?
The worst day.
His rival shows up. Clone Force 99 is here. The Zillo Beast gets out. Omega escapes.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
no,
also,
the only
too,
other person who's had this bad of a day in the Star Wars universe in a single day is Krennic.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because he gets shot and blows up. Yeah, I'd say so.
Wow, spoilers, Tuck. Spoilers.
Wow,
on
how
like
dare
a,
you.
on a 9-year-old movie. Yeah. What a jerk. But with Hemlock, one thing actually though that I think is what makes him a very chilling bad guy is how calm he is, even when all these things are going wrong.
Ooh, I got a
Yeah.
Hemlock thing too that I did not notice until this episode.
Mm-hmm.
The gloved hand.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
What's interesting to you about that? I'm curious.
I didn't notice it and they really made
okay.
a point of it this episode.
Yeah.
Was the
there
gloved
were a lot of
hand.
close-ups of the hand, yeah.
Yeah, no, I just didn't know if you were like, if you had.
No, I just hadn't spotted it until this episode. He always keeps that, it would be his left hand. I'm pretty sure. His left hand is always gloved.
Wait, does he do that in every episode?
I think so.
I'm not sure. We'd have to go back. and
Dude,
not
I'm
going
like-
to.
That's like kind of melting my brain. Thinking about that, I'm like, wow, I'd never noticed that at all. That's crazy.
It's just
I think
those little details.
the logical thing is it's probably a prosthetic.
Oh, maybe that he's trying to hide.
It's
That's
most
interesting.
likely a prosthetic because we know that, which really I didn't know that. I started listening to the Matthew Stover episode 3 book.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get how. So, I mean, the Empire is very, like, against aliens and everything. But I didn't get how much of that stemmed from Dooku.
Really?
Yes. A lot of it stems from Dooku. And
Seems kind of sus from a man who built his rebellion off alien backs.
Actually, I
Yeah.
think it kind of makes sense. Is why do the labor yourself when you can get it for free?
Sacrifice them instead.
I mean, I think that'd be
Well, I
like
mean-
probably the ultimate hate crime. Is like, hey, I'm gonna make you that I don't respect so much do all this work for me.
it's
Yeah,
all
we're gonna
built
make
off
you
of
the bad guys.
It's all built off of George's initial idea of, being able to show how racism exists in our world and, putting it in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that before. But I think Hemlock either has a prosthetic or something wrong with him, which would have been viewed very, very badly in the Empire.
Yeah.
And,
Especially aiming for such a high position.
yes, in the position that he is. And so I think that's what he has. He has some deformity. And I think that's why he has the glove.
That's interesting. Yeah. Huh.
Also in this scene, we have him telling Emery that her fate is tied to Omega's, which was just such
Yeah.
a nice threat, such a Hemlock threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't openly abuse anyone. It's always behind the scenes.
Yeah, and also too, in his threats, the way that he talks about things, he never, I don't think he tells anyone directly, like, I am going to kill you if this doesn't work.
No, he never does.
He instead finds a way to make them feel emotionally confident that whatever he is threatening, he's going to do if you don't do exactly what he tells you to.
Which is, and I think this has a very...
He manipulates, I guess what I'm saying. Go ahead, sorry.
Not pronoun. Profound effect of what Vader did to the Empire. Because, I mean, yes, Vader killed people on the decks of ships and everything and killed them right there flat out. But Vader also does that, like, threatening manner of, like, all right, if you mess up again, like, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is either an Empire thing or it's a Vader thing.
But it's like, I guess what we're talking about was what I think is interesting is it's show not tell. Like he's not telling them directly, I'm going to kill you, but he's showing them through his actions and then also the way that he manipulates them through his threats that he will. And so it's just like he's making the victim feel emotionally confident that he's not playing around at all.
Yeah. Be careful not to choke on your ambitions.
On your own aspirations, director.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, too, what's choking called? Aspirating.
Yeah.
So, like, that's very interesting. Yeah.
So one thing I will say about this episode is I really like this episode. My recording right now is 33 minutes. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've once mentioned the actual Bad Batch. Hunter Omega.
I'm getting there.
Crosshair.
I'm getting there.
My point to this is I really enjoyed their part in this episode, but I do feel like it's the weakest part.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually I think that's what's guided our conversation a little bit, I think, is because
that's what I'm about to bring up. If you would just let me get there.
Well, and also if you'd let Elijah get there, he hasn't even gotten to make his point yet, dog.
No, that was my point.
Yeah.
Canned crack. Edit this out.
I'm going to make it louder.
Yeah, just make it just like just ridiculous loud, like peaking.
I'm gonna make it hurt.
Yeah, like honestly, I want it to discourage me from listening to the episode. I want it to be so loud.
I was getting
because who knows how many more cracks there are gonna be, boys.
Just this one.
No, my whole point is just to summarize, I really like this episode. I like the main Bad Batch's story. I just feel like it's the weakest, and it's kind of weird that it is the weakest, them being the Bad Batch.
I don't think it's weird because of this. So we flash back to the jungle, and Wrecker and Hunter and Crosshair making their way to Tantus, or Mount Tantus. And Crosshair devises his plan. He's like, I'm going to go in alone. Omega needs you guys. Because Crosshair still doesn't see himself as a part of the group.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm the only one that's been here before. I'm going to go in alone. I can do this. Just let me do it. And he has a line where he says that Clone Force 99 died with tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is completely true. I think that Clone Force 99 did die with tech. And that was it. That was the end.
Yeah, well, and actually, speaking of the end, though, the interesting thing to me about that line, too, is I think that whenever he says that is also the marker for the end of his character development. And that, like, he truly has finished the arc that he's going on. Because
his journey's complete.
Yeah, because also, too, I mean, like, that shows, A, self-sacrifice that old Crosshair was not capable of. B, a love for tech that also old Crosshair was not capable of. And C, like, this kind of goes with self-sacrifice, but a willingness to risk it all for his family. Like, I mean, he actually, like, he's no longer a cold-blooded killer. He truthfully cares about every single one of them. And I think that is just without actually a big neon sign that says like Crosshairs fully developed, mission complete. I mean, this is about as good of a way as it could go. And I think that this is just I thought it was just beautiful. I really did.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then the next one I have is they're still outside, but the Zillo Beast has been
Rampaging?
freed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it breaks through the blast doors.
Yeah.
And they're staying there and they go, do you think that was Echo's crosshair? Or do you think that was Echo's handiwork or Omega's?
Yeah, and they all just agree that it was Omega.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a scene like right in between those where Echo figures out that Omega has let out the Zillo Beast and everything. And Emery asks him, she's like, what do you think happened? And he was like, Omega did that. And she's like, well, how do you know? Well, because I would have done the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, too, one thing I love that I just thought this was kind of funny, but also in this scene, too, you just see the Zillo Beast just like the whole time they're talking, it's just walking. Like off into the forest, it's just disappearing. It's just getting the heck out of there. And I just, that kind of cracked me up. Like the whole time they're walking, it's just like casually just strutting. Like it didn't do anything and it's just chilling out in the wild.
It's going to live its life, man.
Yeah. No, I just thought it was ironic.
Yeah, then after that, I don't know how much I've skipped or anything, but we have the, and for me, it might be different for you guys, but for me, the way I read it in this scene was Hemlock going to awaken the Dark Clones. It was very like Vader-esque.
Yes. Well, actually, that was something that I wanted to talk about. His anti-Bad Batch is what I'm going to call them. And how they're basically his Inquisitors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it was very like Empire, where we see the, you know, that scene whenever Vader's in the meditation chamber and the helmet comes down.
Yes.
Onto him, and that's what we get of that first one. The one that we've seen for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, and another interesting thing, too, is the reason I call them the anti-Bad Batch is if you look, the weapons they use, and then also, too, their gifts are all matched against a different Bad Batch individual. So, like, the one that wears the, I'm going to call them brass knuckles, because that's what we have in the real world, but the, like, electric knuckle things, obviously he's anti-Wrecker. And like he shows strength, and then the one with the swords, he's anti-Hunter. He's fast. He uses blades oftentimes. He favors silent assassinations rather than shootouts. And then the guy that we've been calling Evil Tech the whole time, he's actually anti-Crosshair because he's the sniper of the team. And then the electric guy, I mean, I don't know if it totally matches up, but I guess we'll call him anti-tech because he's electric. But I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. The guy that has the swords wears the tech mask.
Yes, he does, which I thought was interesting. But at the same time, being that they were, I assume, essentially developed to kill the Bad Batch, was he developed to bother Hunter? Like, was he developed, like, I mean, as far as his powers, but then also the look of tech, the look of Hunter's greatest failure. Like, he looks like Hunter's greatest failure, which is letting Tech die.
Oh.
And like, is that just meant to just torture Hunter?
Oh, I agree 100%. No, that's 100% what it was.
Right around here, we also have a scene. The kids are trying to escape, and they find a ladder up, and the green alien kid is like, I'm not great with heights. I guess I won't make a good soldier. And then Omega essentially says, like, my brother is afraid of heights, and he's the best soldier I know. Like, I really like that conversation.
Well, that's, again, just where she's a leader.
Been like, yeah, you're right. You're a terrible soldier. Stay here with the stupid baby and die.
leave the baby.
Yeah, but I actually...
and that's why you aren't in the Bad Batch mech.
Yeah, no, I thought this was a good instance, too, of just Omega just being a leader and just encouraging her team and, just trying to make their weaknesses feel like strengths and really just get the morale up and get the party moving. And I think this again just shows some very, very excellent character development and writing as far as what has gone into Omega.
I agree. Yeah. The next thing I have is the hand chop.
Oh yeah, they have their fight with the anti-Bad Batch. They lose, and
dude, that line is so cold from anti-Crosshair.
Yeah. Be careful what you do with your shooting.
Your shooting hand, and then just, dude, that line is so cold. Like, great writing. So great. Yeah.
And also, too, the way that he does it, I thought was very interesting. The fact that he does cut off his shooting hand is because, actually, I was thinking about this after I watched the episode. Like, it took me a little bit to really get to thinking about this. But Anti-Crosshair doesn't know this, but actually what he just did is free Crosshair.
Yeah.
From the prison that he was in.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like his the things in his mind and like his hand not working and him shaking, and that's why I think too that throughout the episode, whenever they show Crosshair's hand, it gets worse and worse as they approach Tantus. Is actually Anti-Crosshair. He doesn't realize it, and what's ironic is I think that by cutting off that problemed part of Crosshair's body and also cutting off that part of his mind, he actually is allowing Crosshair to truly be free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, after the hand chop, the next thing I have is whenever they're freeing everybody, and we get the return of Nala Se again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really, just between that, we do see Emery leave with the rest of the kids, and Omega and Echo stay behind.
Yep. Yeah, and also, too, again, I just thought that was just Omega's pretty awesome. I mean, just willing to go right back in there after she just escaped from the hellscape that she had been at for God knows how long.
Yeah, and I think this is also a really important Echo moment, too, because not for a second does Echo say, no, Omega, you need to go. Like, he trusts Omega enough. She's a part of the team.
Yeah.
For, her to come back into Tantus with him.
Yeah, and I think that it's proof, too, that it's Omega's not a kid to Echo. She's his sister. And I think that's just really, really powerful stuff.
And then we get them releasing everybody. What was your point, Mac?
Oh, just that Nala Se comes back.
And she has a thermal detonator. She's not going to do anything serious.
Detonator.
She's just going to kill Rampart. Just for funsies.
Will always be Kaminoan.
She's just hanging out with a thermal detonator. In a totally normal fashion.
To the Animal Squadron podcast.
The thermal detonator has been activated. All right.
I have a thermal detonator in my...
In your what, big fella? Why don't you finish that?
What, Nala Se? Where'd you put... Nala Se, where's the thermal detonator?
It's in my Kaminoan pussy.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Explicit
in
tag.
all seriousness,
all right, go ahead.
This is one of my favorite moments in the entire episode, specifically the clones line, I have one more fight in me, when after Echo asks if any of the clones are willing to help them.
I don't know. I thought this part was
batch.
kind of cheesy.
But also,
It was,
one
but
thing
I love
too,
it.
as a longtime fan of the EU, I honestly, I was a little
Tug
bit
finally
sad.
got the Kaminoan clone rebellion he always wanted.
I know, but also I am a little bit sad because really, whenever Bad Batch came out, this was what I hoped it would be the whole time. Was just like a clone uprising, and for it to just be just outright war the whole time. And so like, I am very glad that I finally got a canon example of it, of a real clone uprising, but also I am a little sad that we didn't get the series that was in my mind, because trust me, people,
Yeah,
it would have
and
been
that's fair.
sick.
Hey man, I'm telling you, just put Tamara Morrison in front of a green screen for a couple hours, and we'll have it. all
See
right?
what happens.
Just have him play everybody. I love it.
I'm telling
Even
you,
Omega.
Yeah,
just
that'd
put him
be
in front
awesome.
of put him in front
Wrecker.
of the
Hunter.
what do they call it? The thing that they film everything in front of.
The currently the screen.
Yeah.
That
The full
play- I don't-
360 screen.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They filmed The Mandalorian
Yeah,
in front of it.
put him
so
in
they-
front of the put Tamara Morrison in front of the Omniverse or whatever it's called for a couple hours, and just give us a clone show, all right?
Yeah. They've been calling me Boba Fett. I don't like that, and so I became Omega.
They called me Boba Fett. I didn't like that. I went to the gym. I did some cows. There we go. I finally got it. It took me a minute.
Yep, I've been waiting.
I did some cows. I went and found Omega. We did some cows.
I think it's called stagecraft.
Who knows?
What we're talking about.
Who knows? Maybe one day we'll have one.
I hope so.
And I
Pretty
can
sick.
film whatever I want.
Oh Lord.
We'll make our own Clone Rebellion.
What do you mean, oh Lord? I would make an amazing movie.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we would. But no, Tucker, I think they've left it open. The whole Emery Echo going off thing is they've got it set really nicely to where if Disney never wants to do anything with it, we can just assume the clones all went to this planet and they lived here happily ever after. Or I think we could still get a full Clone Rebellion later down the line.
Yeah, and
But making it centered on Echo and Emery.
Oh
and
yeah,
Rex.
no, I
Yeah.
think we're gonna get a show called ER or something like that, or it's gonna be called or it's gonna be called the Clone Stories or something, and it's gonna be Echo, Emery, and Rex. Which actually, I never thought about this. Rex could have built the underground Jedi railroads.
Oh.
Yeah.
The paths? Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I think Rex and Echo and Emery might be Harriet Tubman.
that'd be pretty cool.
So, anyways, after the Clone Rebellion, we have Hemlock getting a call from our old buddy Tarkin.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Which I really like this moment as well. Again, we're talking about rivals. These two definitely see themselves as rivals as well. I think, in terms of
I don't know. I really think the only reason I say this is because I've I've listened to 2/3. Well, I finished it. I finished the Thrawn trilogy. You guys really need to go listen to it or read it. Tarkin is not a rival of anybody. And the third Thrawn book really proves it. Tarkin is just playing the game, man. He is the ultimate. I would say the only person that rivals Tarkin in political chess is Palpatine.
Yeah, but also too. I mean, why don't you let Elijah finish this point real quick?
No.
Thanks, Dookie.
No.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, you really as far as stepping on each other, you really stomped on him. Elijah, you all right, big guy with that shoe print on your head?
Yeah,
You shut your mouth.
my feelings are only a little hurt. No, I don't know. I definitely get at that point, Tarkin is really well established, but at this point the Empire is still so new. I think there is some room for Tarkin to have a rival. I think, and if he were to have one, I think it would be Hemlock here. Project Stardust and Project Necromancy are both really in their infant stages. And right now, it seems like the Empire is prioritizing Project Necromancy, and I think Tarkin is feeling some of that pressure.
Yeah, well, and actually,
that's the other thing, too.
I somewhat agree with that. Is actually at the end of the episode, whenever he switches it, I mean, I think we can definitely see that. But one thing that I think is interesting, to somewhat both of your points, is this, I think, as far as from Hemlock's perspective, they're rivals, but from Tarkin's perspective, I think Hemlock is just another bug to be squished.
squished.
And
Right.
and I think he's just finding a way to get around Hemlock, and I think it all has to do with funding, because what they talk about a lot in this episode is, and like Elijah said, both projects are actually at the moment, I think, equally important to Palpatine, and so they're both vying for the funding, and I think that's why like Hemlock actually, I think, kind of seals his fate earlier on by making sure that he somewhat screws over Tarkin and gets the funding for Necromancer. I think actually at that moment, Tarkin no longer sees him as like a rival or even a peer or anything. Whenever Hemlock does that, I think Tarkin realizes that Hemlock needs to be taken away. And that, like,
well, the thing we have to remember with all of this is Tarkin still doesn't have oversight of Stardust. And I think that's what the Tarkin book is about. And if we read it, we probably know more. Because even in the third Thrawn book, Tarkin still does not have oversight of Stardust because Krennic is a part of it. Yeah, Tarkin doesn't get control of Project Stardust until after Rogue One.
Yeah, but also the important part here, though, is I think that at the moment they are competitors for the Emperor's will, the Emperor's money, value, favor. Yeah.
Because we also have to remember...
But this is why Tarkin decides that he needs to beat Hemlock, which is what he does.
We also have to remember that Tarkin is from the Republic.
Right. And we hate him.
Yeah, but that's why I think rival...
No, I'm just saying that Tarkin's been a part, and he's trying to position himself in a place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's from the old regime, and now he's trying to figure out where does he fit in this new regime.
Yeah, but that's why it's a good rivalry, I think. Mm-hmm. Is it's this is the big leagues. I mean, this is like a really good rivalry.
And he's just governor at this point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Hemlock's, I mean, I guess a little bit higher up, but I mean, like, but not much higher than him. And that's why, again, like, I think that it's a very good illustration of playing these political games, manipulating and doing anything to beat that rival, beat that competitor, so that Tarkin can become who he becomes. Because again, the same thing with Rampart is I think also if you switch the roles, I think also Hemlock could have turned out successfully as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to get us back on track here, the next thing I have is Rampart go boom. And that is the number one thing that pissed me off about this episode, is that we get...
Really?
Yes. We get Rampart and Nalase alone in a room together, and Rampart says, "Tell me everything about Project Necromancer," and then it cuts.
Oh, okay. Sorry. At first I thought you just meant him getting killed. But yes, I agree.
Well, I mean...
I completely agree.
But also, too, it's again... They're like they as in Star Wars, I should say, just in general as an organization. They aren't going to tell us straight up what Project Necromancer exactly is and all that stuff, because they're gonna reveal it at a later time. This is all just
tell me, damn it! I'm tired of waiting.
No,
I'm tired. I've watched 3 different freaking shows.
Also, too, I mean, you're not. You've been a Star Wars fan your whole life. I guarantee you're not tired of waiting, and they know that. They know that we'll keep watching. Yeah. they know what they're doing.
They're not waited long enough.
Are you done?
Yeah, surrounded in my room full of Star Wars memorabilia. I'm done.
They're gonna reveal what Project Necromancy is in the Acolyte. I'm calling it now.
Oh my god, that would be honestly. Never mind. I'm not gonna get into it. Actually, no, I will.
No, that would be just
another. That would be another addition.
I have to interject here.
What has driven me crazy lately regarding one of the 2 shows that you mentioned. That's all I'm going to say.
I have to interject here. The fact that I think it's mostly you, Elijah, You
Yes.
guys have called it Project Necromancy for episodes, and I mean episodes. And we're finally on the finale, so I can make my big point. It is not Project Necromancy, it's Project Necromancer.
You're correct, but
Oh,
also are they not the
oh.
same exact root word in the same meaning? Yes, they are.
Necromancy would be describing the skill,
Act of reviving the
skill
dead.
and act.
Necromancer is the one.
The
who
person
revives
who
the
is
dead.
doing the necromancy.
Yeah, but it's still reviving someone from the dead, which is what
Yeah,
this
but-
project
Shut your
is
dirty little
entirely
mouth.
about.
Remember-
it's how Palpatine comes
Remember
back, and we
for
all know
2
that.
episodes.
Shut your
You
dirty
didn't know
little
who
mouth.
Callus's name was.
Shut
Yeah.
This
your
is true,
dirty
and also
mouth.
how
We all
last
make
episode
mistakes.
you got kicked out by Supreme Chancellor Gonki, and how he might
Shut
do it
your
again.
dirty little
We all make
mouth.
mistakes.
I'm gonna speak to Supreme Chancellor Viceroy Gonki about this. I think you've greatly offended me, and therefore greatly offended him as his.
Anyways,
favorite pet.
Rampart goes boom.
Rampart dies. But I do agree. Project Necromancer. I think this would have been the perfect place to reveal what it was, and I'm totally with Mac. I think it was the wrong choice to tease us like that and not actually give us the reveal.
Because why? Why not explain it to us? Because we got
It's
enough
the big
teasing in
game.
Kenobi. We got enough teasing
Dave
in
Filoni,
Kenobi.
stop edging us.
It's the big game, man. That's what
We
he's
got it.
doing.
We got enough. We got enough in Kenobi.
Kenobi
But also
and
too, I am
Mandalorian.
somewhat excited. I'm gonna be honest. I'm excited for when we finally do get the answer.
I mean,
That's gonna be so cool.
Kudos to Dave for walking into a shit show of somehow the Emperor came back and doing, because here we are still talking about it.
Yeah, he's repairing it. He's repairing it. It's
so
great.
kudos to Dave. Kudos to Dave, because somehow we're still talking about Palpatine coming back.
I think the actual line is somehow Palpatine returned. Just saying, we're pointing out mistakes that people are making.
Shut up, Project Necromancy.
I talk good.
No, and I think I'm okay. To Tuck's point, I think the reason they're waiting so long for Project Necromancy to be revealed is I think because of the ending of Bad Batch and the project being shut down, and then
Well, I mean,
probably
it all
being
ties
picked
into
back up-
Ahsoka.
Right, yeah. I think we're going to get the reveal when it's actually like super plot relevant.
Yeah.
In Ahsoka or the Heir to the Empire or whatever it ends up being called movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think so. And also, I will say I'm comfortable with that. I'm okay with it. Because,
Dude,
I mean,
aren't ready. Y'all aren't ready for the Grisk, man.
no, I get what you. Oh, yeah, I mean, I got you. But, no, I think to Elijah's point, because what Star Wars has always been is a grand story. It's not just one particular show or one particular movie. And so I actually like that this is how they have chosen to answer this question of how Palpatine comes back. I prefer it, to be honest, as far as like just this slow, let's find out a little bit at a time and then we'll get the big reveal later. I'm very comfortable with that. And I look forward to it.
I really like Nalase's last line, where she said, "It will always be Kaminoan."
She's probably hinting towards something. She might be.
Well, not just that. I think that was a really powerful line.
probably.
Was that it will always be Kaminoan?
Yeah, it's their
Because
property.
I mean, you think about Plagueis and everything, and why he couldn't perfectly replicate. And if you read it's not canon anymore, but I think it's still really relevant. And with Dave and everything, the Plagueis book, which is a great book. I really think you guys should read it if you haven't.
I have it actually.
Please read it. He tries so hard to replicate everything, and I mean, I really think Dave is going to dig deep into the EU like he has before.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I trust him.
That's why I think her line is so powerful, is because it will always be Kaminoan, which, and like I said, it's not canon anymore. But the number one problem Plagueis has, which he's he's able to almost replicate everything, and he's on the edge of the secrets the entire time. But he just can't get there.
Yeah, and that's actually why Palpatine goes with the Kaminoan technology. I mean, they've been doing that for generations at that point. Whenever they actually do create the clone army, that's not new technology to them. That's what their people have always done.
Which is a really interesting thing we should eventually talk about on the show, is how much do we really know about Kaminoans?
Yeah,
I don't know anything.
And also, too, with how much they are cloners, does a Kaminoan actually die? Or are they just always just clone? I mean, at this point, they will actually die because Tipoca City's gone. But, but before that, like, do Kaminoans actually live for like thousands of years because they're able to just clone themselves a new body?
Their consciousness and everything? Right. Because, that has to lead to how the Emperor figures it out. Yeah.
Yeah, because also, we do know that they've been doing it for a long time, and that's why the Republic chooses or quote unquote the Republic chooses Kamino as the cloning. Which is also,
it's how it's all going to tie back to the Skywalkers, is Palpatine tells Anakin, and we don't know whether it's a truth or not, which we know the Sith are a master of deception. But whenever Palpatine and Anakin are together, and Palpatine tells him, only together can we discover the secrets. And he says it's only a power that one has achieved, but I believe together that you and I can discover the secrets.
Yeah.
That's how it's all going to tie up. It's going to be through Anakin.
And then also, too, Plagueis, did he figure out about the Kaminoans and then therefore manipulated Palpatine, who therefore manipulated Anakin into this whole process because the Kaminoans have been doing it for a long time, and then Plagueis found out about them? And then also, is that a reason why it was so vital that Dooku delete Kamino out of the Jedi archives, because they were so important as to the grand plan of Palpatine's ability to take over?
Well, Anakin is the key. Anakin has always been the key.
But I think also to a point that Kamino is also partially the key, and that's why Palpatine couldn't afford anyone finding out about it, or at least for as long as he could.
Yeah.
So I think actually Kamino has a large part to play in this story, is I guess what I'm getting at.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I've always said that Anakin is what Star Wars is about, but I think that Kamino is going to play a larger part than we originally thought.
Oh, dude, how good was Anakin in Ahsoka? That's all I'll say. I know Elijah wants to get back to the episode, but it just makes me so upset. No, it makes me so upset seeing all this stuff that's been coming out about Star Wars lately. Is that Anakin is always going to be the point.
He is the point.
And thank Dave Filoni and everybody else that Hayden Christensen is still willing to do this show.
Yeah, absolutely,
for sure.
Get us back to Bad Batch, Elijah.
I was just gonna point out that the Kaminoans are Kamino's gone, but a lot of the Kaminoans got
Tipoca City is gone.
Yeah, right. A lot of them also. I can't think of the right word. When the clones left, so did a bunch of the Kaminoans.
Evacuated?
Evacuated. Thank you. Because when they're on Tipoca City, it's just them, the Bad Batch, in the end of season 1. So that makes me think a lot of the Kaminoans are probably in prison somewhere, ready for the Emperor to make them keep working on whatever he needs them to. But back to the actual Bad Batch, I think we should probably just hit some of the big points here. We've got the final battle against the anti-Bad Batch as
and Hunter giving
Omega's
Crosshair a hand.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to do
Omega's been No, of course. Omega's been caught, and she realizes she's the only one that noticed that Wrecker is awake and about to break free. And I really love this moment as she essentially just says, "You've lost," and Wrecker breaks out and wreaks havoc.
Yeah, well, she said, "Here's one thing you forgot. I have them."
Yeah, such a good line.
And it's also, too, one thing I thought was interesting is it's after... Well, wait, is it? No, it's not. I'm sorry. Never mind. I was going to say that it's after Hemlock cuffs her, but he does that after she says that line.
It's fine.
Right.
By a few seconds, yeah.
And then we get the final fight between the Bad Batch and the Anti-Bad Batch, and this was a pretty good one, boys. This was a real good one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't notice that Wrecker's armor is damaged at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, from
And
the,
that's
like,
where
bear thing.
Anti-Wrecker tries to put the staff.
And that's what got
in
him the
his
first
hole.
time. That's what knocked him out earlier. In
Yeah.
their original fight, whenever
Yeah.
they lose, that's exactly what he does, but this time Wrecker's expecting it.
I mean, how strong is Wrecker that he's able to hold on to, I mean, a precursor of the, I mean, it's an electro staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also
But Wrecker just like holds on to that bad boy.
With the
Yeah.
electric bit, yeah, with his hands.
Yeah, but also too, I mean, we do see the guy literally move tanks, tear down walls. I mean, like, I think that
And what's
Wrecker-
that
Wrecker
lat?
easily what?
He moves a lat. in,
That's what I meant by
Clone
move
Wars.
tanks. Yeah, that's what I meant by move tanks. Yeah. And then also, I mean, then tear down walls. Like, I mean, remember in that same scene with the LAAT, he literally takes down a barricade that's meant to be used as cover, which is, I mean, I can only assume something that weighs
Oh, thousands of pounds.
yeah, thousands of, like, maybe literally a ton. I will say a U.S. ton for the record. But,
Yeah.
you know, like, and he swings it around like it's nothing. And so I think that, honestly, Wrecker is probably maybe not like Hulk strong, but I mean, about as close as any non-superhero could get.
Yeah.
Just based
Yeah,
off of genetic
ridiculously
mutation, which is
strong.
amazing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Let's talk about Echo real quick. Just through like the whole episode, he was the star, really. I mean,
Yeah.
he is an ARC trooper, and it's clearly shown how good the ARC troopers are here and why he deserved to be among them.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, if you think about it, he was picked from his squad, which I would already argue is elite anyway.
Yeah.
But specifically to serve as an ARC trooper, and does so with distinction. You know what I mean? Like, he's not even just an ARC trooper. He was one of the most awarded and respected ARC troopers of the Clone War.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I mean, this dude has got that dog in him.
Yeah, you know, I was really hoping with this series that we'd just get this fight at some point where it really showed off the Bad Batch and how good they were together as a team. And I feel like this fight here kind of comes close, but it's still really scattered as like Echo's fighting with some of the clones, and Hunter and Crosshair leave really quickly to go after Omega. But I really feel like this episode just shows off how good Echo is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in Echo too, I think that based on his past, that like he was a prisoner for so long and that he was disabled and all that stuff, like you would be tempted to think that he's not as powerful as the rest of the Bad Batch, or that he was let in because they felt a loyalty to him, and that not necessarily that he needed it, that they were like compassionate to him, I guess I'm trying to say. But
Yeah,
in this
sure.
moment, he proves that that's not true at all, and that actually he deserves to be there as much as anyone else.
Yeah, he is him.
He is him.
Well, are we ready to move to the bridge?
Yep.
Yes. This very Tom Clancy Star Wars beautiful scene.
And the death of real
Yeah.
Scorch. The only
And the
Scorch.
death of my boy, R.I.P. I'm so mad, you guys.
I'm so happy.
His death
I'm
was
glad
so
Scorch is
lame.
dead. And we can never get him back. He
He
dead.
just turns around.
Because if there's one thing Bad Batch has taught us is that if people get shot or fall to their death, they die.
Yeah.
And Scorch did both.
I think Scorch is gone. But I was really hoping we'd at least get a cool fight scene with him and one or multiple members of the Bad Batch. That didn't happen.
Nah, he's been scorched.
He's been scorched.
You just got scorched.
It's going to take a while for me to emotionally recover. But I will. It'll just take some time.
No,
You're
he's
so
been
brave.
scorched, brother.
No, I want to talk about just the symbolism here of how this whole scene plays out. With this season, we've had a rivalry between Hunter and Crosshair on who's the better dad for Omega. I haven't seen it a lot the last few episodes, but it's definitely something that was shown a lot the first few episodes of the season. And I love this moment where Hunter just puts all his faith into Crosshair and says, you save her. There's no pride or I've got to be the one to save her. Just Crosshair, you've got this. I believe in you. And I love that so much.
Well, and like he says in the epilogue, you were our kid.
Yeah.
Is what he says. And I think they all believe that. Mm-hmm. There's like an equal partnership.
Yeah, for sure.
In caring for her. And I think that's...
Yeah, I had a note about that.
That's
that
so
Crosshair
cool.
got
Brother
the first
dads.
hug.
Yeah, Crosshair did. Mm-hmm.
Which it was just such a beautiful moment. I mean, that whole scene is great. I mean, it's very Star Wars Force Unleashed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, oh man, dude, if we could get a Sam Witwer show,
it'd be cool.
If we could get a Force Unleashed show. And I mean, we haven't talked about Acolyte really, but I mean, with as much as Acolyte is quote unquote breaking the canon or whatever, why can we not have Sam Witwer doing what Sam Witwer does best? And that is
be cool.
being him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be very
I
cool.
think
but
just being...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry, Tucker.
No,
I was just
I'm
going
going
to
to
say,
switch gears. See, you go ahead.
I think he's aged probably out of the role.
I don't know. Dude, I don't know. He looks pretty good for however old he is, because he does a lot of cons, and he's always at Celebration, which I would say out of anybody, I would say Sam Witwer is probably one of the best people that's been affiliated with Star Wars that shows up to stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I was just going to say, if they don't cast him as Starkiller, make him executive producer. Put him in charge of the series.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ready. I don't think he wants that either. I think Sam Witwer is a really good student, and I think he knows his place. Not in a derogatory way, but I think he is a appreciator of the arts, and I think that's where he'll always be. I think he's always going to be that guy that will support any Star Wars project. Which is interesting because I don't think I've seen any interviews of him talking about Acolyte or anything, and I would really be interested to see his opinion of Acolyte.
It probably will be a while, but I'm sure he'll talk about it at some point.
Yeah,
because I mean,
I'm sure
besides of course, at the precipice, at the peak, is George, and then Dave. I mean, and this is just me, but George, then Dave. Then honestly, probably Sam Witwer third.
Yeah.
Out of people that whenever they talk about Star Wars, I would listen.
Yeah, I'm gonna... Yeah, never mind.
No, go ahead. No, please go ahead. I want to hear.
So Sam Witwer, I agree that he is involved and that, his opinion matters and that his interviews are good. I'm not trying to say that they don't. But as far as, the role that he has played into the story as a whole and all that stuff, I think I would be less curious to his opinions than I would be several other people's. that were also actors in the Star Wars franchise. You know what I mean?
I don't know. He got the Sith code into canon.
Yeah, but that's also like
that is dedication, my friend.
That is dedication, but I don't really think that that's as groundbreaking as people say it is.
Yeah, there are quite a few actors that have really contributed to Star Wars that I don't think get as much recognition as they should.
Yeah, well, and I think a good example of both of those is like, you know, let's say just of the big three, like Mark Hamill, Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, like I would be more curious about their opinion of, say, like The Acolyte or something like that than I would Sam Witwer. To be honest, he's further on my list.
I don't know.
And that's
Mark
fair.
is kind of. Nah, we're not going to talk about Mark.
Well, I know that. I mean, I'll just go out and say
We
it.
love you, Mark.
I really appreciate Mark Hamill and what he did for Star Wars. I love it, and I'll just all cards on the table. We disagree on a lot of issues, let's say like politically and belief wise and things like that. But I mean, like, you know, like Mark Hamill and I don't know if we'd ever be like personal friends. And I think, like, you know, if he met me and I met him, I think we could both say that and be okay with it. But
yeah.
But I deeply respect what he has done for Star Wars, and that he is a very intelligent actor, and that I think he would have some very valid opinions that I would love to listen to.
I don't know. We all know my
same.
problems with Mark Hamill stems from the second of the new sequel trilogy that I like.
But that's also not his fault. The sequels are not
because
Mark Hamill's fault.
I can go on a whole tangent on.
Yeah, no, I
What's
get
that
it.
one called?
I get it, and I can too.
The Bad Batch,
But it's-
Hemlock
yeah,
gets
thank
shot
you.
like 7
Thank you.
times. They
Thank
shoot
you.
him over and over again until he falls to his death, and I loved it.
Yeah, I did too.
I make a gif of that so I can watch it repeatedly. Somebody.
Also, too, Omega, like, one thing I loved, again, just Omega's development in this show was that, again, we get to see that she's actually a team member. Crosshair's afraid to take the shot at the handcuffs because it's
That
like
was
right
such
at
a
Omega's.
That was such a good
right
scene.
at Omega's chest.
Such a good scene.
And he's afraid to take the shot, especially without his arm, which again I would argue is actually what sets him free. And especially because we see that in just a second. But anyway, so Omega has the forethought to pull out a pick, like a lock pick. And so, like, you know, as the audience, like, I don't know about you guys, but I was sitting there thinking, like, she's going to try to, like, pick the lock, I guess, like, while he's talking.
I did too.
And
That's
was
what
like,
I thought too.
And then instead she shoves it in his thigh, and he freaks out and lifts his hand. And at that moment, that's when it's away from both their bodies and Crosshair can take the shot. He takes the shot. Beautiful. And then the whole time,
Well, Omega gives the
whole
sign.
time, yeah, she does. And then the whole time, Hunter's just pumping him full of laser. And I love it. I love it.
Omega
Kill
gives the
that
sign.
man.
She gives the pat on Hemlock's arm. And
Yeah.
Hunter's like, okay, that's the sign. He's like, that's it. We can do it. And
Yeah, and they did.
no, such a good scene. I really can't believe that Crosshair got the first hug though.
Yeah,
But I think
I think it was-
needed to happen. Go ahead.
yeah, I do too.
No, I'm not disagreeing
and
with
I
that. I just can't believe that he got. And it's such a good. Well, we've been saying this entire episode that Crosshair has finally come full circle. That we've fleshed out that character. That he is who he is. And
Yeah.
it just proved everything that they built with Omega and Crosshair this season.
Yep. That's, yeah, pretty much what I was going to say, too.
Yeah, for sure.
And then back to Pabu.
Back to Pabu. Yeah, they escape. They get the clones off. They did what they came for.
Oh, no, really great shot is whenever they go into hyperspace and then Tarkin comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really close.
Such a good shot.
Well, what did you guys think of back on Pabu?
Echo and Doc? Question mark?
I mean, maybe. I think it'd be kind of sweet. I mean, I think in a lot of ways they are, I think they have some similar traumas.
Well, I mean, I finally get to bring it up. If Echo and Emery get together, is it incest?
Ask the question, man. I mean, I would say no, because they are,
It's self-cessed.
no, I would say like that. Actually,
It's the same genetic code, Tuck. It's the same genetic code. One is just an X chromosome and one's a Y.
I mean, I like where your track of thought is at, but I think that actually it's not, because it's been repeated millions of times. So therefore,
Has it?
Yes. So therefore, their
Do we
genetic
know?
code, their genetic
Do
code's
we know?
not, their genetic code's not the same.
Really? Do we know? I mean, we know Omega was the exact replicate of Boba, but how
Yeah.
far down the line is Emery?
But yeah, which is exactly my point. How far down the line is Emery? You know what I mean?
We
So
don't
that
know.
means that both of them, I mean, let's say that Emery and Echo have the exact same amount of let's say like
I'm just
the way
giving you
that-
shit,
the-
dude. We
oh,
don't
I
have
know.
to talk about this.
I know, but the way that they age, let's say that they're the exact same. Like that they're from the
Oh no,
exact
Echo's
same.
older than Emery for sure.
Well, yeah, but therefore that proves it, though, that they can't be the exact same genetic code, because things are pumped into the genetic code, let's say to create mutations, and then B, mutations happen naturally. So,
Oh well, this finally brings up my point that
So
I
they're
brought
actually
up
gonna be
at the
two
beginning
different
of the
people.
episode,
yeah.
where they're standing there on Pabu, and Echo and Emery are talking, and Emery says they can have the future that we never had. And she's
Yeah.
talking about the clones that they saved from that one planet a couple episodes ago, the 3 boys. And she's like, they can finally have the future that we never had.
Yeah.
I don't know what point I made earlier.
I thought it was a sweet brother-sister moment, just for
No, I think
if
they're
anyone cares
knocking
about
boots.
my opinion.
I think they're knocking boots.
But if they are also, I mean, like, hey, man, whatever. I mean, from what I just said, like, I mean, it wouldn't be incest, because they're different enough where I think they're
Who
different
cares
people,
if
so
they
it's
have
okay.
clone 99 babies? It'll be fine.
We established they're probably infertile anyway.
No, they're not. They're fertile. I'll talk about that again.
Yeah, Tuck proved it that one episode whenever I first brought all this up.
I'll bring it up again.
Anyway, I thought this was a really nice moment. We get a mention of Senator Chuchi, and that a lot of the clones are going
To Pantora.
to her planet.
Yep.
But I also liked just a small detail is a couple of the non-Bad Batch clones did stay. Like after the ship leaves, you can see a couple of them in the background, and I really like that detail, just reinforcing the fact that the clones now get to choose for themselves.
Yeah.
We see how well
Yeah.
that works out in Kenobi.
Well, and it's like Hunter says, whatever
They
we
all
want,
get to choose their own path.
whatever we want.
Yeah.
And just that line right there, I just thought was so cool. And again, just talking about freedom and whatnot, like the clones, it's done. Like they do finally get to be free, which I think is just, as a loyal fan, that just makes me so excited. I just feel nothing but hope that that's exactly what they get, is that they get to be whatever they want, kid. I mean, I just think that's so cool.
And is that not what
Maybe
it's all
we don't
about?
need a Clone Rebellion show.
Is that not what Star Wars is all about?
Yeah, but also one thing I do think, if they do the Clone Rebellion show, I'm asking, please have Pabu be reigning, and someone comes up to Hunter and is like, Hunter, we need you in this rebellion. He goes, I'm retired.
Hell yeah.
And they still bring him out anyway. Make it an
Well,
80s cop movie.
We can talk about the end now.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I was not expecting such a big I wasn't expecting a time jump in general, but such a big time jump either.
Yeah. But I also thought it worked out perfectly. I mean, I think it makes perfect sense that Omega,
Well, no, Elijah,
whenever
I
she
can
reaches
finally
human,
redeem you.
whenever she reaches human adulthood, that she would join the rebellion.
Yeah, Elijah,
Yeah.
I can finally redeem you for what you said a couple episodes ago. Omega's kind of hot.
Hey, wait. I did not
I don't
say
think
that.
he said that.
I did not say that.
No, he was
Adult
talking about
Omega
Ventress.
is pretty attractive, and I'm
He was talking about
going to
Ventress.
specify
I
adult.
said Ventress was hot. You cannot say things like that about people.
Adult Omega. Adult Omega is very
Yeah,
attractive.
Flash
yes.
Forward Omega is kind of hot, man. I don't know. Put Tamara Morrison in a wig and we might see what happens. Who knows?
Oh, that's got to stay in. That's gold. That's gold. I love that. That's hilarious.
I stand by what I said.
Adult
Ventress is
Omega
hot.
kind of bad.
Dude, also, to both of your points, yes, Adult Omega is kind of bad. And then B, Ventress, if you read The Dark Disciple, I got some feelings after reading that book. Never thought about it, but I somewhat agree with you, Elijah. And I hate to say it. I wanted to give you crap,
Let's
dude.
go.
I wanted to tease you about this. That, like, you know, she's a bald weirdo, but, like,
Oh, dude. Read
I mean,
I like him a little
read
weird.
Rise of the Red Saber and
I
you'll be
did.
right there.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Nalase would.
No, oh God, no!
Does Elijah just like bald? I think maybe.
Put him on a ship. Put him on a ship. He's ready. No, I'm putting him on an escape pod and we're launching, baby.
I think maybe this show just needs to be me and Gonky from here on. Sorry guys, like I love you both, but for different reasons, I think that maybe it's just the
Speaking
journey
of
I need to
Gonky,
take with my
Gonky
boy.
is still alive.
Yeah,
He
Gonky's
is, and
alive.
also I love that that he was just like ready to go. He's like, "Oh, you want to go kill? Yeah, let's do
We're
it."
gonna go kill people.
And
Yeah.
her little doll is in the back seat of the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, do you need anything else besides your favorite doll and our supreme leader?
I mean, I need Omega.
That's all you need.
Adult Omega.
It's true. Adult Omega, supreme leader,
And that doll.
the cute little doll. Think you're good?
Hey guys,
Ultimate road trip. What?
I was wrong, right? I guess, I was wrong. I've been saying for all 3 seasons, the Bad Batch was going to die. They were all going to die by the end because we never see them.
Yep.
And I was wrong.
I was hoping you'd
And
bring
you
it
know
up.
what? I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, and actually, that takes
I mean,
a lot of
Tech
character.
dies. Dead Tech.
He does die.
Okay, Tech does die. Everyone else lives. And
Well, I mean, my
was
theory
wrong,
about
and I'm
evil
glad I
Tech.
was wrong.
There we go.
Is this
Everything comes to fruition.
Is this
Yeah.
going to make you rethink the next thing we watch about everyone's going to die, or is that going to remain your main theory, Elijah?
Ooh.
It's going to remain my main theory.
Surprise,
We'll talk-
guys.
Everyone's gonna
I've
die.
seen spoilers.
Yeah.
Well, no. Okay, I guess Acolyte was a bad example. Let's say, future Bad Batch-esque project. Is that going to remain your theory that everyone dies?
Okay, hypothetically, we get a Omega series that
I hope
kinda
we
like
do.
Rebels takes place before episode 4.
I hope we do.
Yes, the whole time I will be sitting there saying, well, we didn't see Omega in episode 4, so they all have to die.
I hope we
Yeah,
get
but
a
then
live
also, too,
action.
One thing
I
I,
hope
love
we get
about
a
you
live
is
action of
you're
Omega.
You're also a, and there is audio evidence of this, audience. In the Ahsoka show, what about whenever you defended that just because a main character isn't active in a particular movie doesn't necessarily mean that they're dead?
That is true.
What are we talking
I
about?
You
did say
you
that.
defended it. You
What do we
defended
say?
it.
I did.
That's all I'm trying
Somebody
to say.
clue me in. I'm behind.
I think Zeb's... you're talking about Zeb, right?
I think in that particular episode we were talking about the haters that were saying, like, in the Ahsoka show is like, well, they can't all live because they're not in any other movies. Meh, meh, meh.
Oh, yeah.
And we
Yeah.
were just saying that it's like, well, it's also I mean, it's a huge galaxy. It's perfectly possible that everyone lives and isn't in the movie. But also, I'm just shoving this in your face to try to make you uncomfortable. Is the goal?
No, I pray
the
pray
duality
to
of
Dave
man.
Filoni that Omega is still alive and give me her in live action, baby.
If it ain't to Tamara Morrison, I don't want it.
Give me Tamara Morrison in a blonde wig, baby.
Well, hey boys, is that everything?
I think
Yes,
we did
sir.
it.
We did it, boys.
Finally, Bad
We
Batch
never
is
have to
over.
Talk about it again.
I enjoyed it, for the record, and I hope we talk
I
about
did
it
too.
again. And I genuinely had a good time.
Yeah, and I do think we're gonna take a tangent break, essentially, for sure. One episode, maybe two, before we get to the Acolyte. But we will be doing the Acolyte soon.
Yep, full review.
Full review. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to be a part of this conversation, you can email us at animalsquadron@gmail.com. Again, that is animalsquadron@gmail.com. Also, Spotify changed it so there are no more questions. We can't leave specific questions, but you can leave comments now if you want to do that.
Comment.
And you could leave us a review wherever you're
Comment
listening.
if you love adult Omega.
Also, to comment if you think that, or actually not if you think that, if you are ready to become part of the regime that our sweet
Gonki.
supreme leader Gonki leads. Comment if you're ready to become part of the big Gonki in the sky, folks.
Comment Gonki if you want to be part of Gonki. Comment Yariel if you want to be part of Yariel.
Competing theologies, that's what we're all about. It's beautiful.
Comment
For the Animal
Omega
Squadron.
if you like blonde.
This has been
Adult
MotherGoose
This has been Lowtech Tuck.
Oh,
and HouseDog.
I'm the main host, HouseDog.
Well, what do you mean, mate?
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.
Goodbye.